Ford, it's a company we didn't like for a long time, reported total sales that were up 8% compared to a year ago, which are higher than expected. Pickup trucks, F-Series Ranger Maverick, combined with vans, jumped 7.4%. F-Series trucks up nearly 13%. But also strong sales among SUVs and especially EVs. EVs were up 30%. This is time to buy Ford or not on this because this is kind of a surprise. Stock is up around 1-2%, not flying on this news. You know, when I'm looking at a full chart of this, it's going to be misleading because it's going to say it's at a 52-week high. It's not this 52-week high where it's $12 and it was $4. It was, $9 and it's up the same exact amount that the S&P 500 is year to date. Right, it's about 15%, right? That's what it's up. So it's been tracking that. But if we look at all and go all the way back here, just take this comparison off. I mean, you're looking at a stock pretty much was trading in 1987 at $13 a share. I have to go back and look to see if the share count is exactly what it is now. I know they buy back shares and everything, but even if you're going back to say, 2010, it was at $15, right? And this is a stock at $12. I mean, 2010, right? One of the, a leading American brand. Is this a sign like, hey, things are going to turn around? Let me break this down for you. One is they saw incredible sales because EVs are up 30%. And we know Ford sucks at EVs, right? Where they had the Ford Lightning, the Mach, whatever, which is the Mustang. And, they were just so late to the party, massive spending. They wound up cutting the spending. Ford's always been a following company. They've never been a leader in the past 20 years, right? They never led anything. And if you're rushing to buy an EV before tax credits expire, I'm going to tell you absolutely nuts. It's a bad proposition because this comes as someone that owns an EV and own an EV for the first time. And when I look at companies like Ford, GM, they're not going to make tons of EVs after this. This market's going to shrink. We have some of the leading analysts in this industry. I don't know if you want to listen to them because they thought EVs would capture 30-40% of the industry. It peaked out about 10, and they're saying it's going to go down to 5 now in the U.S. The tax credit is a huge incentive, right, for you to buy one of these because of the massive inconvenience you have charging these things on long trips, which, my daughter hates. And I bought her a Mercedes EV as a first car. Not that I wanted to buy a Mercedes, but it was lower than what we were looking at, whether it was a Traverse or whatever. The car brand new was $75,000. We got it for $35,000, 1 year old, 7,000 miles on it. And I was like, holy shit. Right. And there was a reason why we got it so cheap because Mercedes isn't really an EV company. And now that we want to get it serviced, it's insane. So they're not really making a lot of EVs anymore. This is Mercedes. So to get this car maintenance and service, it's an absolute fortune. I think it costs us like $1,000 where a little thing comes up and says, hey, 2 year, it's time to get maintenance and everything. It pops up until you shut it off. And we just looked into it and said, okay, maybe we get maintenance. We don't know too much about the car. And sure enough, it's like $1,000 just to bring it in because we have to bring it in, not even to the Mercedes. We have to go to a specific Mercedes because they don't really tailor to EVs. And it's a whole system to update this. It's not, it's all new computer systems, new chips, right? You have to be specialized to understand this. But here's the deal. The resale value, most of you know, for EVs is already terrible. I mean, I bought this Mercedes for half the price of the sticker, and it was 1 year old, 7,000 miles, and it came with an 8-year warranty on the battery. It's a great deal. Now that tax credit is gone, these vehicles, maybe you have Tesla, Rivian, Pure Plays and stuff like that, but for GM, the value of these vehicles are going to crash probably 50-60% the second you drive it right out of there, which is much, much more than a traditional car, gas guzzler. Not only are you going to have a fortune to service it, because you need specialists, you're not going to find a lot of places where you could service this because they're not really catering to it, right? They're not building it anymore. So that's going to cost an extra amount of money. And again, this isn't their primary business. So careful running out and buying an EV just to lock in a tax credit before it expires because the value of this car is probably going to go down a lot more because you're going to see production probably screech to a halt for a lot of these companies when it comes to specific EVs, not so much hybrids. That's the first part. The second, Ford also saw really strong sales from SUVs. They sold a shitload of them. Where I remember in 2008, we tried to get rid of SUVs, right? SUVs, get rid of them, the gas guzzle the environment. And now it's the bread and butter for Ford and GM. So highest margin products, even better. They're in super high demand. So what did Ford do? They did this amazing freaking thing. Ford just did an amazing thing. Dan, they did the most amazing thing ever. They listened to their customers. Oh my God, they listened to their customers. They didn't listen to climate change maniacs and said, okay, we have to go EVs no matter what, even though they're shittier cars than regular cars. Even though most people will not buy them ever because they just don't like EVs. And EVs are nice cars. Charging is not, again, when you see the bells and whistles on some of these things and how fast they go and how they light up and stuff inside the car, they're really nice. But to charge that thing, even my daughter's like, she wants a pickup truck because she likes to go surfing. She has a lot of her friends and they don't even fit in the little cars. So she's just like, I'd rather a big truck. GM and Ford, especially Ford, now going back to your roots of saying, hey, our customers want something that's our highest margin product. Why don't we just sell the shit out of it? It seems like common sense, but when you're throwing in climate change and all the DEI shit and all the stuff that I've seen in presentations that were mandatory, that you have to have 5 slides in your investor presentation, right? If you look at presentations, they have 5 slides of how they're saving the environment and all this bullshit. It was such a negative that now I think it unleashes Ford and unleashes GM to say, hey, you know what? Now we can buy back stock. Let's focus on the products that we can make the most money on. And, you know, we didn't solve EVs. Tesla did it. Rivian's doing a lot better too. But let's just go back to bread and butter, gas guzzling vehicles, high margins. And that, I think, makes Ford attractive here as a stock. So you're going to see sales come down. You probably get a little cheaper. Next quarter is going to be weaker because it was front loaded for EV sales because of the tax credit expiring. You're probably not going to see that next quarter. But now you're going to see them sell a lot more vehicles. They'll be able to lower expenses tremendously. I don't know if you remember, Daniel. I remember seeing a $50 billion number for EV expansion. A lot of that's going to get cut. So you're going to see earnings go a lot higher. These are not expensive companies. I think Ford's getting to the point where it is going to be a buy if management does the right thing, which seems like it's difficult, but it's very easy. Just listen to your customers and sell a product that happens to be your highest margin product that everybody wants right now, because people are buying SUVs and pickup trucks across the board, across every class. When you look in America, that's what people want. You see them everywhere. Just look around you. You're going to see pickup trucks. Even you have crossovers as well. Not too many people buying in cars as much, but just that's, if you get back to that model, Ford looks like it could be attractive buy. You might get a little cheaper as earnings come down next quarter. I think that might be the bottom, and you probably see the stock go higher, which is a surprise for me to say that because I haven't liked Ford for a very long time.